I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Fighters will be up third on the bill. 22-year-old lightweight from the northeast has been boxing since you were 8 years old, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Adam Reichard. Good to finally meet you. From the Tenacity Boxing Gym here in the northeast, under the guidance of John Stubbs and Anthony Kelly. You made your debut on one of the Sauerland shows. You were actually in the same position as Maisie Rose, where you were, I think, the live float. You got there about 4:30, and you ended up boxing around midnight. And unfortunately, that is the risk that you take when you agree to be the float, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we were the first at the arena because we had a couple on the undercard and stuff, and I was the first one with my hands wrapped, and then we didn't end up walking in the ring till about 11:15. I think it was after 12 by the time we got out. It was a long night to say the least, but it was all a good experience.
Yeah, of course it is, and you'll be glad to know you're boxing at a reasonable time on Saturday. I think you're scheduled to ring walk at 20 to 6, so you should be done and dusted by 7, and you can enjoy the rest of the evening. I know you've been sparring at Still City Gym with Jordan Flynn, and congratulations to Grant Smith on his award as Trainer of the Year. And Flynn fought your opponent, Yafius Fayour. Have you had a look at him? What do you make of the guy you're going to be with?
I actually haven't had too much to look at him. I leave that to my coaches, Anthony and John. I've seen like the size of him and what he looks like and stuff like that, but I spoke to Jordan a bit about him, but as I say, I'll box whoever I get put in front of. I leave the looking at the opponent down to the coaches, do you know what I mean?
You're a local lad, and like Chris said, your debut was at the arena. How buzzing are you that it's back there in front of your adoring fans?
Oh, over the moon. I mean, since I started boxing at 7, 8 year old, you dream of being at the arena, and that's where you want to be on. I mean, I've dedicated my full life to boxing, and who wouldn't want to be on these shows? And thankfully, my second fight, it's my second time at the arena, selling a good few tickets and getting all my friends, all my family, and people just talking about it. That's all I want to be involved in. Do you know what I mean?
I know you boxed 134 pounds your debut. This one's been agreed at 135. You're going to stick a lightweight. Could you make super feather?
It's something we look at going forward. Nutritionist on board, and I mean, I'm only 22. I'm only young. As I might go through the weights quite quick, I might stay around. I don't know, but we'll just focus at one fight at a time. And 135 is where I'm going to be out on Saturday, and I'm feeling good and feeling confident and ready to put on the show.
Got some good domestic fighters in and around area level at your weight class. Like Johnny Phillips always brings a good fight. Ishmael Ellis, Lee Haskins' son Anton, who I think is about 6-0. Justin Newell, Alfie Price as well. And I know Steve Wood likes to match you tough. Ben Marksby, of course, will tell you that. He knew that in the first year. You expect him to be matched tough in the next sort of year, 18 months? Do you want to be matched tough?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think every prospect will agree when somebody comes to win, you'll perform better. I want to be in with the other prospects and other undefeated fighters, because that'll initially bring out the best version of yourself. Do you know what I mean? In the long run, it'll suit us down the ground.
Good man. Alan Reichard, all the best for Saturday. We'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow. Thanks for talking to us. Fourth and final fight on our pre-broadcast segment, and a step up for an 8-time national champion, Commonwealth and European youth gold medalist, Mark Dickinson, in against a very good domestic fighter in Ben Ridings. Mark, welcome back. A little bit has changed since we last spoke. You had a great start under Ben Davison and his team, but I know relocating is not always ideal for fighters, and home was calling you. You're back with Graham Rutherford and all your old boys at Berkeley. How's the last few months been?
Yeah, back at Berkeley, back at home, and just happy, relaxed and confident going into the fight. Just can't wait to show now the different side of boxing that I've got. Now I'm back at Berkeley, and to show it on Saturday night and put a good performance on.
We had a chat earlier. Just tell the viewers out there how much it means to you and the rest of the guys to belong to Berkeley and represent that club.
Yeah, it means a lot to me, and I wear the Berkeley boys tracksuit with pride, and we used to walk about the shows and that as kids, and that proud to be from Berkeley, and Berkeley boys are taking over.
And shout out to Graham Rutherford as well. And a week. Yeah, what a week. What a soldier, by the way.
What, man?
Go on, great. And I just wanted to hear from yourself and Callum how much he means to you as individuals, but what he does for the club as well.
Without Graham, I don't think Berkeley would have the name that it's got, but I definitely wouldn't. It's all down to him. He's very dedicated, gives up a lot of his own time and that, and puts it into us. and he's trained me from being 6-year-old. He's been like a second father figure in my life, and not just a good boxing coach, but a good life coach as well. And he's on my mind in the right place for where I need to be in for Saturday night.
He ain't done a bad job, has he?
No, done a very good job indeed. I think consensus is that it's the top amateur club in the country, and you boys are, of course, the latest product of it. Just a quick word on your opponent, Ben Ridings from Bury. Very good fighter, great value for money. Went 8 rounds with Tom Whittaker Hart up at 175. Got stopped by Callum Simpson for the centre area at 168. Simpson massive in that fight, and Whittaker Hart's a huge light heavyweight as well. He's down at a much more natural size for him. I feel for you it's probably going to bring the best out of you having an opponent that is going to sling a few back at you and try and win this fight.
Yeah, he seems like a game enough lad. Seems like he'll come to fight, but I'm there to show that there's different levels in boxing, and I'm a few levels above Ben Ridings on Saturday night.
And finally, you've obviously known these boys a long time, Cyrus as well. How proud are you, Pat, to be sharing this bill in the North East?
No, definitely. We've talked about these nights for years, being on the GB squad, being in Berkeley training together, and to finally have it now, the Matchroom show in the North East, and us all fighting on the card together, it's a dream come true.
Yeah. Mark, good luck. Mark Dickinson and Ben Ridings will close proceedings on our pre-broadcast segment before the bell. That one's scheduled 8 rounds, roughly 6:15 on Saturday. I'll be at the commentary desk with Darren and Barry Jones doing a couple of fights each. Chef Clark, I think, is going to be joining us too, so that should be really, really good fun. Do join us if you're going to be watching at home. 7 p.m. The show starts on the Zone. Another one of the Berkeley boys sitting in between these two lads. Callum French, 2-time ABA champion, double European medalist, one of the best circuit fighters around in Jordan Ellison in front of you on Saturday night. Callum, welcome back. It's been a long time since you fought at home. 2018, in fact, the WSB, right in your backyard of Gateshead. It's been a long time since you've been back here. How does it feel to be home?
Oh, it's brilliant to be back. Obviously, boxing on GB all around the world, boxing in these Eastern European countries, these sports halls all over the world. It was a nice to come home in 2018 to the Gateshead Leisure Centre and do it in front of my friends and my family. So this is just another step up. Do it in front of the arena where I've always dreamed of doing it since I've been 9 years old, since I laced on the gloves.
You had a good 8 rounds out last time against Taylor. A learning fight, you could say, but you're enjoying the journey, aren't you?
Definitely loving it. This is what it's all about at this stage in my career, getting these experiences in. No point going in and blasting journeymen out. You want durable opponents in front of you who are going to take you the rounds and help us learn me through it a bit.
Have you found the transition from being a top amateur to turning professional? I guess the following question to that is, you're competing at such a high level in the amateurs. The last thing you want to do, I suppose, to sort of, I guess it would hinder your progression, is to drop down numerous levels. How are you feeling about being a professional and competing with better opposition?
I think that's why Matchroom are doing a good job with me and all the rest of the fighters on the stable, because they're putting in with like competitive fights early on. They're not just like throwing journeymen at where that they're going to shell up straight away. Do you know what I mean? They're putting me in fights that we're going to actually learn something from, and I'm glad they're doing that, because obviously boxing is a high level all over the world. Like you say yourself, you don't want to come down too many levels. But yeah, like I say, Matchroom, give them all the opportunities and help them propel their career.
Yeah, he can be a handful, not afraid of causing an upset. Ellison beat another unbeaten North East prospect in Anthony Hornsby not too long ago, went to Liverpool, beat Masha Dodd too, so you know you've got to be on your game. First up on the Zone, just finally a word on the main man, Cyrus Patterson, a long time friend of yours. Is he going to do the business, do you think, on Saturday?
I definitely am confident in Cyrus. He's been looking good in training camp, looking sharp. Like you always say, his opportunity presents itself when he's ready to receive it, and I think he's definitely ready to receive them belts on Saturday night.
Good stuff. Frenchie, thanks for talking to us. Very best of luck. Callum French and Jordan Ellison will be opening the show over an 8-round lightweight contest, agreed at £139 live on the Zone. 7 o'clock Saturday night. Mark, thanks very much. Adam as well. Thank you very much, gents. Cheers.
Refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 17. We nick their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,